Can you hear me now?
Am I actually on mute?
No, you're on. You're
okay.
You appear to be on. I think you're on.
Okay.
Does it say you're on mute?
No, when I scrolled over the thing, it said mute, but maybe that's just a button that allows me to mute myself. Apparently.
Don't mute yourself, Brandon. Speak your mind. Speak your mind.
No, Jamie, that's not how that works. See, when I speak my mind, we get down votes on YouTube. I got me a thumbs down. I'd like to say to whomever happened to give me that thumbs down, hi, you're my new favorite person now. I live because of your fucking down. I want more of them. All of them.
It means they're paying attention.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jamie, believe me, I am very aware of the premise that if you're making people happy, you're not doing your job.
Oh, man.
Like, believe me.
I rarely check in on our YouTube channel unless we get comments, because then I get like
little notifications.
Yeah, I get an email alert. So the only thing, like, you sent me the thumbs down thing. You're like, good morning, we got a thumbs down, and I was like, that's fine. But we did get a comment from Vincent.
Okay.
He fucking loved your intro. He loved your Macho Man intro. So
thank you, Vincent. I appreciate that.
That's awesome. We've done our job. We've done our job.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
I swear at this point now we do the show for like 8 people, and I am super okay with that. I adore all of you. You're super great, except maybe for that one person who gave me a down vote. You can go fuck yourself. That's right. I'm unclear who it is, but I'm going to go out on a limb, Jamie, and I'm going to say you might be an internet troll or someone pretending to be an internet troll, and you can fuck yourself. There was a thought process, though, that I did rag on Superman a little bit, and it was actually the boss giving us a downvote. But I figured he would actually say something about it.
Oh, he would text me.
That's what I assume. Yeah,
what are you talking about, asshole?
Right. I assume if I overstepped, he would end up saying something about it.
Yeah.
So
he would say some shit. He would be all up in
he'd be like, hey, so next episode's gonna be me and you. We're gonna cut the fat guy. So that's how that's gonna work.
He's gonna talk shit in my face.
Right. He's gone. I know he's not gonna listen, so I'm gonna talk a lot of shit.
Brandon, I don't have any camera news.
Okay.
Except that Olympus, or whatever they're called now, OM Systems or something, they're going to make a big announcement tomorrow.
Oh, well, geez.
Wednesday.
Wait, is it going to be a new camera? Jamie, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say it's a new camera. You see? Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
The rumors are a new camera.
What? Whoa. Hang on a second. I'm going to go. Don't mind me. I'm just going to put head in between my knees. Just need to breathe a second. Hang on. Oh, God. Room's spinning. Room is spinning. So the camera company might make a new camera. Is that how you say it? Camera?
Chimera.
Kamehameha. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
So this slipped my mind a couple of months ago, but there was Olympus, their site got hacked and like all sorts of personal data got exposed. But it was the original company, not the new one. It's not.
Oh, thank goodness. Jesus.
So I was like,
so it's only the data of everyone who may have a warranty on their Olympus camera that never got an email notification that their data may have been Jamie. I wonder if we know anyone like that.
Yeah.
I bet we do. I fucking bet we do. Wait, hang on. No, hang on. Wait a tick. Let me think. using my brain meats now. Got to figure out who that. Fuck, it's me. It's fucking me.
But you didn't buy directly from their website.
No, but didn't I register my camera for its warranty?
I don't know. Did you
put in? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It came with a fucking factory warranty. Why wouldn't I do that?
I think that the camera.
I'm not buying that Best Buy shit.
But the entire camera division got spun off to its own company, so that's not the site that got hacked. The other half of the company that stuck, like the medical devices.
Oh,
company,
well,
that's the one that got hacked.
Cool. All right, good.
They don't care about the camera company.
There's the selfishness that I was looking for on the internet.
Yeah, they don't care about the camera company.
It doesn't involve me.
It doesn't involve you. Oof. That's why I forgot about it.
Man, geez, I was ready to give this video a downvote because I thought this was about me. Oh, man. Goodness.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. All right, we'll stop it there. We'll just do the intro. Fuck it.
Oh, I'm such a saucy bitch.
Brandon,
sir, here we go. Hang on.
You live in the Baltimore area. Now, for people who are not Maryland natives, they might not understand that different parts of the state have different accents. Like I live near the DMV. We have a boring ass what's known as like the East Coast neutral accent. I don't know why they call it that, but like,
yeah, it's the NPR accent.
Yeah, I have the NPR accent. If we go north, say an hour from the DMV,
right
towards Baltimore, Dundalk, that area,
yes,
there's a distinctive change in cadence and pronunciation of words.
You were gonna burn through every one of my party tricks before the month's out. I'm telling you right now.
We can go back to the other ones.
That's fine.
But goodies. I don't give a shit.
That's fine. I'm all right with that.
But Brandon Chalmers, I would like.
So what you're saying is, Jamie, is that what you're hoping to hear is what's considered the Balmer accent,
yes.
BAWLMER. So this is
a
lot of O's and bows and Danny Ocean and ambulance.
Because I know we have at least one Canadian listener who might not be aware of what a Balmer accent is.
For a lot of people also, and I take offense to this, but only because I'm a Maryland guy. Not because of anything real, just literally how insecure I am about where I live. Let me be very clear about that the Pittsburgh accent, there's like a Pittsburgh dad that's all over the internet who's had a bunch of videos. The Pittsburgh accent, ironically enough, is very similar to the Baltimore accent. I'm unclear what's going on with that. I think it's like a weird kind of Polish, Pennsylvania Dutch sort of like mishmash of things. But yeah, so Jamie, what are you looking for? Are you looking for, you gotta give me some parameters here, man.
I would like a proper introduction to the fucking Do It cast using your best Balmer Brandon pronunciation.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcomes one and all to the fucking Steelcast, parts of the Hard Knocks Media podcast networks. Now I know what you're thinking. Hard Knocks Media, is that like that Jay-Z? No, sir. No, sir. See, because where I come from Balmer, that's what we talking about. Hard Knocks Media. That's right, baby. Talking about them Ravens, talking about them Bows, talking about them O's, crab cakes and football, because that's what Maryland does. That's what I'm talking about, Jamie. From the tippy tip top of Wilmington's, Delaware, all the way down to the bottom of Chesapeake's Bay. Now, I know there's going to be some people who's going to be from Virginia who's going to be like, Chesapeake Bay's ours. You're fucking wrong. You're wrong. I want you to hear it from me, and I want you to
Just breathe it deep in and understand that you are a secondary Chesapeake's owner. All right. You're like the fallback. You're a godparent is what you is. Like you bring a really nice gift on the Chesapeake's Bay's birthday gift, but that's it. You has no unless I die, unless Maryland's just falls into the sea. You don't get to claim it. We got Chessie. Jamie, did you know that inside the Chesapeake's Bay that we has our own sea monster?
I did not. I was not aware of it.
There was a goddamn children's show that had a captain, and he had himself a like puppet marionettes-esque looking, like Chessie looking things, and it was named Chessie because Maryland's has its own sea monster. Goddamn plesiosaurs, Jamie. Goddamn plesiosaur.
Was it Captain Kangaroo? Did he do that?
No.
Okay.
It was actually Captain's Chesapeake and Chessie. Yes. Now, anyways, so what's Maryland got? Crab cakes, footballs, bows, and O's. Our own goddamn plesiosaur. The greatest goddamn harbor you've ever seen. Danny Ocean, I will absolutely go 10 rounds with any son bitch who wants to talk shit about Ocean City. Is it uncomfortably white? Yes, it is. Is it really run by an oppressive police department? Yes, of course it is. But also, it's Danny Ocean.
Danny Ocean.
Do you know another place where Harkin escapes 3 hours from where this... Literally, Jamie, I could hop in the car right now, right? I could throw the wife up over my shoulder, toss her in the passenger seat, be like, go down the ocean. I can has, Jamie, before midnight, I can have my toes in the sands. Lappings up on them. Little sand crabs all over the place.
Aw.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I know. Imagine the Purples Mountains Majesties of out in Western Maryland. That's where we're from, Jamie. That's where we're from, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So what I want you to do is remind everyone else that ain't the beer cold here at the fucking Do It Cast, parts of the Hard Knock Media's podcasting networks, the greatest podcast known to mankind. Why? Because it's a Maryland thing, baby. I put a flag on everything. I got a flag on top of a flag on top of my tramp stamps.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need a Maryland one of these things.
Yeah, you do. I'm goddamn upset. I mean, honestly, I'm really kind of freaking out because I can't actually see the tops of your head. You're blending in with the backgrounds with all that camouflage going on there. Yeah, exactly. It's like half of fucking John Cena's. Some sort of weird ass, goddamn John Cena looking ass, fucking silly ass, fucking villains going on there with no brain. Just blending in with walls and shit. It's crazy. Call an ambulance and take me down to Washington, D.C.'s. You know why we call it D.C.'s? Because we're not allowed to say Washington. Goddamn embarrassing is what it is.
Washington. Oh, man.
Anyways, I'm Balmer Brandon. That right there, that's Jamie's motherfucking Noguchi. Put some stank on that name. Show a little respect. That's where you at. Fucking Do It Cast. What's up, boss?
I love it. Oh man.
The only real positive to come out of the previous administration was her Uncle John, who literally spoke like that.
That's amazing.
And what a delightful guy that guy is.
That's like,
so for as much as I am not super thrilled with my ex, man, some of that family was a goddamn gem. And
that's glorious.
I don't think he'll ever hear it, but Big John, you are delightful. I miss you. I wish you the best. Dude's a good guy. Like, I can't take anything away from that. Plus, he gave me the gift of every day. Jamie, have you ever been to a house where you walk in and immediately someone's like, yo, Jamie,
Go ahead, outside. Go get yourself a brat and a beer. They're out at the back. The grill's already hot still. You're going to have to cook that things up yourself, but they good. Go on.
That's awesome.
Right. Like no matter what time of the year it was, that dude always had beer on ice in a cooler out back.
Nice.
And like literally had a dude from the neighborhood who would go down and he would like employ underemployed guys where he basically like they would pop by and the dude's pretty well off, but like he'd snap a 20 off for a guy, have him go get a bag of ice and have him just refill it like, you know, once a day and just make sure that no matter what time of the year, the cooler was full and then just let the guy keep the change no matter what.
Aw.
Just one of those like, hey, go ahead and go do this. And like literally just walk down to the end of the block, go get a bag of ice, come back, fill it in with the thing. And the dude would just pocket the cash or he'd go and get himself something to eat or whatever it is. And just him just trying to be good to the rest of the neighborhood.
See.
And when the holidays would come, open up the house, Christmas, do a big open thing for making breakfast and everything else like that, which I've definitely adapted to my own home. Like it's that old school Baltimore mentality of like everybody out on the stoop on a Friday night. Your neighbors are your friends are your family, and you extend your home open to everybody because that's what we do. And when you fall down on hard times, your community picks you up. And there's not a lot of neighborhoods that are like that.
Yeah.
So
nice.
to their credit, that's a rad part of Baltimore. That is definitely, I imagine it's happened in other places. I only have personal experience with it in South Baltimore, which a lot of people will call it Fed Hill. But that's usually a sign about how long ago someone moved in. Because if you lived there before like 94, it's Sobo. If you moved in after that, where the gentrification started, it's called Fed Hill because that's when your property value started to really jack up.
Colonizer.
Right. But then again, you also got all of the rad like sub shops and like the Abbey Burger bistros and all sorts of stuff like that. So there's something to be said about at least the food quality improving with some of that gentrification shit. I'm not saying it necessarily helped everyone else out, but
yeah.
You know, at least it gets a fair bit of money back in the city that definitely helps other programs and everything. And
that's cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So any hoozle.
I for the longest time, I thought the national anthem, when it says, "Oh, say does that," I thought the line was, "Oh," like I thought you had to shout that shit out.
That is the second time in the past couple of days that I've come across this, and I haven't done it either time, but I've really wanted to. So we had lunch at a Mission Barbecue, and every day at noon, they make you rise for the national anthem. And I'm literally in a Mission Barbecue in Montgomery County, and I'm looking around, and we're coming up on the O, and I'm debating it. I'm debating it hard.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I passed on it because I'd have been the only one. And I'm unclear how good of a sense of humor everyone at a Mission Barbecue actually has. Because I'd have broken my buddy, I'd have broken my coworker, but I don't know if everyone else would have recovered from just me solo doing the oh. Yeah, the second one I'll get into with what I'm geeking about. So,
okay. Well, yeah. What are you geeking about, Brandon Chalmers?
So this week has been last week has been since we last spoke has been a very sports heavy situation. So the first one is, and I wear the hat right now. It was the home opener of the Seattle Kraken, which are the new NHL team.
Nice.
Because I'm a Baltimore guy and I've tried to be a Caps fan and just it's gonna be bougie and dumb of me to say it this way. The logo and the uniforms for the fucking Capitals suck. They always have.
How dare you disrespect Obi like that?
Ovechkin's fine. And I've had an Ovi jersey and everything else like that. And I've gone to see them a couple times and like, I get it. I couldn't get into it though. So there was a new expansion team started this year. One of the co-owners is film producer Jerry Brockheimer,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They have themselves an arena in Seattle that is a carbon neutral facility called the Climate Change Arena.
Oh, interesting.
A large portion of the funds go to local native tribes. They try and basically are giving back and making sure that a team isn't just a money hungry fucking cash grab.
That's nice.
This is their first year. Admittedly, they won a couple games before their home opener. They lost their home opener, but it was against the Canucks. So now we get to actually have a rivalry, which is nice. So that'll be good, but it's just kind of neat to jump in on the ground floor. And I figure realistically, as silly as it might sound, I don't feel like a bandwagon jumper because I'm literally rooting for the team since before they were a team. Like the second this got announced, I was like, I'm going to purposely get into this. And now that they're officially playing, I'm like, cool, I got started here. This is neat.
Is hockey going to be your thing? Because I know football was your thing for a while.
Football was my thing for a while. Ironically, this is going to shift into the second thing that I ended up doing, which is I got to see the New Zealand All Blacks, the rugby team, play in person at FedEx Field.
Oh,
and I've watched a lot of rugby, right? I played rec league rugby. I've watched, a lot of rugby on TV and what have you. I've seen a lot of the footage of the All Blacks. I've seen the highlight reels. I've watched the games on YouTube and stuff like that. I've seen the haka over and over again. They're ridiculously good. Like, hang on, because I need to remember what the name of the U.S. team was. Because to my understanding, the U.S. team that they played 1874 Cup. So they ended up playing. Let me see here. Yada 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 yada. USA Rugby. Yada yada yada. Okay, I guess that's just going to be that. We're just going to go with that. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so the 1874 Cup that I ended up seeing, 1874 was the year that professional rugby started.
Okay.
So I got a chance to watch them play. And it was basically the U.S. national team versus the All Blacks. The way the rugby scoring is done is there's a thing called a try, which is basically like the field is set up very similarly to a football field, like an American football field. And the teams will run down the field. You can only pass the ball backwards. The ball has to be constantly moving in a similar way to like basketball, just no dribbling. A field goal can be kicked at any time for 3 points, or you can cross the line into the end zone, but the ball physically has to be pressed on the ground to count as a point. It's called a try. Try is 5 points. After a try, you can do a field goal kick for an additional 2 points. So the scoring is very similarly to football. 3 points for a field goal, 7 points potentially for a touchdown with a converted kick at the end, right? So you've seen football scores.
yes.
I mean, 21-0, 35-0, what have you.
Yeah.
And, you get up in the 40s against, like 40, 43-3 or whatever it is. And you're like, fuck, that's a game.
Yeah.
Somebody got their ass kicked.
Yeah.
It was 104-14. The U.S. team didn't even score until the half. We went through.
Wait, hold on.
Jamie, in the first 25 minutes, they scored 60 points.
Jesus Christ. Is the American team like the Brooklyn Brawler?
No,
of
the American
rugby?
team is the best American team yet, because this is the first time the American team has actually gotten a try against the All Blacks. Nevertheless, 2 of them. The last time they played in Chicago, and they beat them like 74-6, which means they only got 2 field goals.
Dang, yo.
The All Blacks were so fucking dominating. The people who were literally dressed in like period garb with the powdered wigs and a bunch of people dressed with like Apollo Creed, America flag, robes and everything else like that.
Yeah.
We're laughing as to how bad the U.S. team was just getting fucking shellacked. Now I had the added fun of one of my wife's friends married a gentleman from New Zealand.
Oh, awesome.
So he is an OG fan.
Yeah.
And has the credibility and has the accent. And when they went to New Zealand, they actually brought us back legit jerseys. So we were in legitimate All Blacks gear for this game and got a chance to literally cheer alongside. And the stadiums, cool. I would say reasonably were like 60% All Black fans.
Yeah.
So it felt a little like a home game. Like I even watched some of the YouTube stuff afterward, and the guys were like, it was really nice to see them supporting both teams. We were not expecting the fan response when we scored the first try. And it was like, yeah, because we fucking erupted. So
that's really cool. That's
rugby is awesome. Rad to watch live. It's fun watching it on TV, but man, there is such a huge difference of seeing everything in person and watching them basically like, you start to run down and one guy gets clipped and he hits the ground and all of a sudden the ball just pops out of like this pile of humanity. Yeah. The next thing, one guy shovel passing it to the next guy, and then next guy does a stutter step and just shoves one of the guys to the ground and just fucking breaks loose. And all of a sudden the crowd is just banana pants. Everyone is on their feet and it is crazy. Dude, last like 2 minutes of the game, right? We weren't sure they were going to break 100 points. At this point now, we're curious, are they going to break triple digits? U.S. teams got the ball. Yeah. They start making their way across. They get to a 40-yard line or so. And I know it's not yards, meters, or whatever it is, but like right about the 40, right about half, just shy of halfway. One of the All Blacks players came across and you heard the wind get knocked out of this guy in a fucking stadium. Like he got hit hard because all you see is just him pitter patter and just this dude just come out of nowhere and just zoom, and you hear the guy go whoo, and the ball goes loose, and that guy, like the guy who hit him, got right back up and starts chasing after the ball, and that dude just laid there and easily did a 10 Mississippi before he got up. Jamie, I saw a guy get laid out so hard he lost one of his shoes. Like, how hard do you have to get hit to lose a shoe? Now, to his credit, he got up and played the rest of the time before the referee stopped the play with one shoe. So that lone shoe is just chilling out there. It's like, dude didn't even hesitate. It's like by the time he goes back to get his shoe, we're all just clapping for him. Like, fucking good on you.
You got it,
right?
Man.
Yeah, like, because dude legit was chasing after people. And could you imagine running a full-length NFL football field with one shoe and meaning it? Like genuinely chasing after a guy? I'm gonna be like, no, fuck this. And just fucking hobbling yourself along, cadence all off and everything. God, that would fuck me up. Yeah, but
that sounds amazing.
It was a ton of fun. If I get a chance to see them again in person, I'm bringing fucking everybody because it is way too much fun, and I can explain the rules in like 5 minutes, and then you kind of follow along with context. You're gonna be fine. The only thing I will say is the Washington football team stadium is quite possibly one of the worst organized, worst laid out, and least supported when it came to amenities like food vendors that I've ever been to. We had club level seats.
Wow.
Like we paid for nice ones.
Wow.
And I thought with that there would be more restrooms available, more food vendors available. At the very least, if it's cold or raining, we could properly go inside and be able to sit on comfortable chairs. Like we would have a better experience once we got into the stadium. the food choices are fucking ridiculous. And because of COVID, there's no longer a cash system going on. So there's only vendors walking around serving beer and water, but it's cashless. So they have to swipe the card with the Square reader.
Yeah.
Only you're in a stadium where there's no self-service. So I watched someone spend 8 minutes trying to get a $14 beer.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, okay. And then the wife and I went to go get food like 10 minutes before the half, and they were sold out of so many things that by the time we got there to this Johnny Rocket stand, we were left with just chicken tenders and a soda, 4 chicken tenders and a soda for $21.
Yo!
Yeah.
Yo!
So
Shit.
the Washington football team really needs to get their shit together. Now, I learned the hard way that apparently my experience at Camden Yards, where there are multiple food vendors everywhere.
Yes.
There's a fucking Korean taco place in goddamn Camden Yards.
Oh, yes. I'm
spoiled.
An event. Yeah.
I'm spoiled.
Oh, you are. You are.
And I wasn't aware of how spoiled I was until I learned that when you go to see the Washington football team, which I don't know why you would, but whatever, you live your best life.
It's not great.
Yeah. Apparently you get mediocre Johnny Rockets for way too expensive or ice cream. And that's it.
The Nats is the Nats state. It's a different stadium, like where the Nats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally different stadium.
That's a better experience.
Good. I fucking hope so.
They got a Ben's Chili Bowl. So
cool. I wish we had that.
Yeah.
Apparently there was some sort of pie place that was over toward the Bud Light zone, but no signs for where that was. Like there was very little signage around too to like help you out of like, hey, this food vendor is this way. Like, because
I fucking hate that.
Right. Like there's only one Boog's barbecue and it's right out on the main concourse in Camden Yards. But if you're looking for it and you, let's say, are in the outfield and you come down and you're like, man, I really want some Boogs. There's some goddamn signs like Boogs is that way. And you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
all right.
I know where to go.
I may have to make a walk, but I'll be able to find these things. No, not so much.
Shit.
It's almost like food was an afterthought, which makes a lot of sense knowing what I know about Dan Snyder. So
a cheap ass motherfucker.
Yeah, fucking awful human. Anyway, so in spite of the now I will say the stadium was clean. It was well organized for what it was, and the seats and the area was at least clean and comfortable. So I didn't have a bad viewing experience when it came to that, but yeah. Everything else sucked by comparison. Also, the traffic getting out of there, fucking ridiculous.
I bet it is not. There's no good way to get there. There's no way to get out of there.
Well, there's one way in, one way out. Now, luckily, they're kind enough to shut down the streets, but like the stadium was maybe half full, so I can't imagine how bad it is trying to get out of there on a full like NFL Sunday.
Well, and they usually rely on Metro, but now Metro is down to like 40% capacity.
Right.
Because there was a derailment. So they took 60% of their trains off the system.
Jesus.
So like, yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, I got to see rugby and it was fucking great.
Do they have a Super Bowl equivalent, like a big a World Cup or like
I assume they have a World Cup. I forget how the All Blacks are broken into things. Like there's multiple versions. There's like a national version and the national version. Like the big All Blacks team is then broken into smaller regional teams that play.
Yeah.
There's I think the Ferns, which is the women's rugby league version of the All Blacks. They're like, if you're looking to get into rugby and understand it and want to be like, yeah, I enjoy this because I like to see teams win. I highly suggest jumping on that bandwagon. I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever be a fan of USA Rugby because it was fucking disappointing. And I spent enough time being an Orioles fan. I don't need to be sad about being another fan of another team. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like if there's like a big game, like a huge game,
100%.
End of the season,
we will have to do that.
Yeah. That sounds like a party where like
Yeah,
you bring
I'll have
everybody
to do
over,
that.
we bring over all the beer and the brats and the stuff. And
we get everything together and we just bring the game up on the big TV and we just all go and watch it and we just go and enjoy the thing. But yeah,
that sounds.
I think you could totally
rad.
enjoy it because like it's super fast paced. It's pretty easy to figure out and it's a lot of fanfare and they do it right. So like, I genuinely think you could enjoy the hell out of it. So if anyone else is interested in getting into rugby alongside me, hit your boy up because it's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time. Like, God, I was explaining how dominant they were to Nicole on the way in. So we get like, I don't know, 10 minutes in and they had scored 3 tries by the time we got like 10 minutes in. And she looked at me, she's like, you weren't fucking kidding. I was like, no, this is going to be embarrassing. Because like nothing prepares you for when a dude is running down the field and looks like he's about to get cornered and then kicks the ball in the air to then another All Blacks player running up from the side where you don't see him coming and catching the ball before it hits the ground and then going to get the try. Because it almost like, I know it's intentional, but also like they just want to get the ball away from them so that play doesn't stop. But like the coordination that they had to pull that off multiple times really is a whole thing to watch.
And no answer from the American team. No answer.
Not for the first, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes. Yeah. It was a whole thing. Like they didn't score until we were in the exorbitantly long line to go get our mediocre chicken tenders.
That sounds so amazing.
Right. And like literally I had a dude behind me who was like in the Apollo Creed fucking robe. And he's like, oh yay, they scored. And I looked back at him and he was like, I expected this to be one-sided, but goddamn. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude. He's like, no, I'm having a good time. Just wow. And I was like, yeah, still, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's dope.
And when I explained to him that was the first try that a U.S. team has ever made on the All Blacks, he definitely perked up. He's like, wait, really? And I was like, yeah, did you not know that? And he's like, no, I had no idea. And I was like, oh yeah, no. That's actually historical. Like, that's a big deal. And it's like, oh, well, in that case, fuck yeah, America. And I was like, all right, then. But yeah. Oh, my favorite part. So the 1874 Cup, right? So we are commemorating the start of rugby and yada, yada, yada. The U.S. felt the need, which I was not aware that we had, a fife and drum corps in period garb that kind of looked like redcoats that had like the old school fucking drums and proceeded to play before everything got started. I leaned in to my friend. I was like, out of curiosity, how insecure are we? And she's like, pretty insecure. I was like, insecure enough to be like, well, I know you guys were making a really awesome sport in 1874, but you know what we were doing? Fife and drums. Like, yeah, this need to like, guess what we were doing, America? It's like, wow, this is telling. This is super telling.
This is our one thing that we have.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, anywho, so that's what I've been geeking out about. A really great sports experience. Jamie, what have you been geeking about?
Well, Brandon, I saw the Dune, and we went over to Dan's house.
Okay.
And he has that big big theater
the
system
big projection screen
with the sound and all that stuff. And we watched the Dune, and we had the Miles running around with the Dune on. It's just moment of silence.
That honestly, from my understanding, that movie is very long. I have not seen it, so I imagine that breaks it up quite a lot.
I loved it. It is very problematic. Like by being a more diverse cast, somehow it highlights how problematic the themes of the movie can be.
Okay.
But, you have not seen it.
No.
So I would like to introduce a new segment to the Fucking Do It cast. I will read you the description from Warner Brothers, and you give me a movie review. I don't know how do we do it. Do you want to do stars or thumbs up, thumbs down? Like,
why don't you pick an object?
Okay.
Just pick any object.
All right. We'll rate it by sand trout, because to get a sandworm, you have to have a sand trout. The sand trout are the baby worms, and then they go into the big.
All right. So out of a possible 5, count them 5 sand trouts.
Okay.
Jamie, I'd like you to give me the cast.
Okay.
And because I've seen the cast, or at least most of it. Okay. But I do not understand where some of these people are from. But what do we got? Give me the cast first. Who do we have?
All right. We have Timothy Chalamet.
Gotcha. Okay. So new Wonka, right? Yeah. Okay.
Rebecca Ferguson plays his mother.
Who is she and what is she from?
Rebecca Ferguson. Oh, Jesus. IMDb. Why are you fucking with me? You might have seen her in one of the James Bond movies.
Gotcha. Okay. That's fine.
She was in a Mission Impossible.
Okay. I was just curious what I would recognize. Okay. I just looked her up. Okay. I recognize her. Go ahead.
Zendaya as Chani.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oscar Isaacs as Oscar Isaacs.
Stealing my heart.
Duke Leto, who is
Jared's brother.
Timothy Chalamet's father in this.
Wait, is it actually Duke Leto?
Yeah, Duke Leto. Leto. Not Leto, like the Leto's Pizza. Leto.
Jonathan Duke Leto?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Jason Momoa as the most Momoa.
Gotcha. Okay.
Stellan Skarsgard as Baron Harkonnen. He's our villain.
Okay.
He's our main villain.
Makes sense. You make a Skarsgard the villain.
Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck, which is he's the armorer. He and Momoa taught Timothy Chalamet how to fight.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the kid can actually fight.
Grizzled Guy 2.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Javier Bardem as Stilgar, who is like the leader of the Fremen, who is like, he's awesome in this.
Okay. All right.
So those are those are the ones you'd recognize. Oh, Dave Bautista as Rabban Harkonnen.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's another bad guy.
All right. Meat lovers Batista. Gotcha.
So those are the principles. Those are the ones I think you would recognize.
Okay. All right.
Do you want the description from the Warner Brothers?
Sure. Because I assume you are under the impression that is going to give the most tittillating description.
I'm just trying to see like what Warner Brothers wants you to know about this.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Wait, full disclosure. I have not seen this Dune, nor have I seen the previous Dune. Ooh. I have zero background on any of this. Okay. I hold no ill will toward everything, and all the still images that I've seen, the movie looks very pretty. All of the costumes look pretty rad, and all of the actors that I have recognized, I have genuinely liked. Yeah. So I hold no real bias going into this other than the understanding that it is fucking long.
It's 2.5 hours. It's part 1. So it's like the first part of the book.
Of 3 parts?
Two parts. This is going to be 2 parts. Part 1 is the first half of the book. Part 2 will be the second half of the book.
Okay. So we're covering just one book.
Yeah. There are 6 books that Frank Herbert wrote. Okay. There are 20 books because his son took a bunch of his notes and did some co-writing. So the series has gone on for
Gotcha. Okay. So when Netflix does an animated series, we'll pick up there. Gotcha. Yeah, okay. No problem.
All right. So this is what the studio wants you to know.
Okay.
About the Dune.
Okay.
A mythic and emotionally charged hero's journey. Dune tells the story of Paul Atreides, a brilliant and gifted young man born into a great destiny beyond his understanding.
Is that Timothy Chalamet who we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I understand. Apologize. Just want to make sure I understand who we're talking about in the cast so I can kind of form a picture in my mind's eye.
A brilliant and gifted young man into a great destiny beyond his understanding, who must travel to the most dangerous planet in the universe to ensure the future of his family and his people.
Gotcha.
as malevolent forces explode into conflict over the planet's exclusive supply of the most precious resource in existence, a commodity capable of unlocking humanity's greatest potential. Only those who can conquer their fear will survive.
Gotcha.
Dune.
Gotcha. So we're going to take everyone to Isengard.
We're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Right. So we got to take the hobbits to Isengard, and we're going to find some big fuck hobbits.
Giant worms.
Gotcha. All right. So
worms and dunes.
All right. I have questions. That seems pretty clean. Now, are you trying to figure out where my interest would lie here, and like how many? What is it? What is the little
sand
ones?
Trout. Sand trout.
Okay. Interesting evolution. That's some Pokemon shit going from a trout to a worm. But okay.
It gets weird. It gets weird.
Okay. All right.
We'll get into that.
All right. So I'm going to assume that what you're looking for is for me to give my impressions based on what I've heard, then talk it through with you a bit and see whether or not I'd be interested in seeing this, and sight unseen, willing to give it what score out of 5. Am I understanding this correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go from my complete regular understanding here. So we've got Batista being a bad guy and a Skarsgard being a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and my understanding is this whole fucking movie some sort of allegory about the Middle East? Is that what's going on? Like it's a giant oil allegory?
There is Orientalism aplenty. There's
gotcha.
There's words taken from Arabic. There are no Arab people in this movie.
No. I understand that part. I wrapped my head around, but to my understanding, that was true of the last one. So
the last one, yeah.
That's fine, okay, but to my understanding, that was kind of like the spice is the equivalency of oil. Am I, or am I off there?
Let me tell you about the spice that they're going for.
Right,
the spice is a hallucinogenic. It's a drug.
So it's poppies.
Spice.
Okay, so it's poppies from Afghanistan.
Yeah, if you don't get your regimen, if you get addicted and you don't maintain your spice dosage, you die. Spice also allows the engineers of this, the engineering guild, or I forget what it's called, but it allows them to do interstellar space travel. So the spice is also a fuel source. It's a drug and a fuel source.
Okay, so you're actually saying you shove the drugs into a spaceship. Not like they just kind of hang out and lay around and have just a real weird trip, right?
You give the spice to the pilot, and the pilot uses his special powers to enable the jump engines to work.
So yes, so we're feeding the ship in a way.
Yeah, but you need the ship doesn't go without the pilot. The pilot requires the spice to make interstellar travel.
Gotcha. I assume that is some sort of weird plot point that will further things along and create stress at some point along the way in the story, because the pilot will die and someone else who's not a pilot will have to step up and figure out whether or not they can power the engines to be able to make their way home.
Pilots
I've watched Quantum Leap.
The pilots have nothing to do with the story.
What? Yeah. It's a plot, but it's right there.
Yeah, it's
like you can kill a pilot and make that part of the whole thing of like, well, what do we do now? Because like that would be the best way. Everyone makes their way back to the ship after the long run from the big baddie. And you make your way back, and then all of a sudden the big baddie's got himself some sniper, whatever it is. And I just happened to watch Triple X over the weekend, so I expect the guy who constantly smokes for no fucking reason to like shoot Triple X through the whole thing, and like maybe it can actually be played since we've got Batista involved in things and what have you. So maybe Dominic Toretto, right? Like leans into the scope, kills the pilot, looks back and goes, "Welcome to the Xander Zone," and then makes his way down with Batista on some sort of like weird spaceship thing that happens to look like a 68 Charger, but isn't a 68 Charger. No.
Okay. It's not that kind of movie.
Damn it.
And that you would think that would be the thing, because that sounds like it should be the thing. It's not the thing.
So is it a political drama?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So
is
it a political drama in the way that the prequels were political dramas?
Yes, but they're better written.
That's not exactly a high bar.
I know.
Like, I'm not trying to discredit this writer because obviously I've never read the book, so I can't throw fucking shade.
Yeah.
But also, the idea of us magically getting better than the Trade Federation doesn't seem like a super high bar.
Yeah. The spice gets you from interstellar planets, but that's about it. The thing about the spice is it's only found on Arrakis, the planet Dune. And so that's why Dune is important. No other place has the spice.
Is this like a mining thing?
Yeah, they mine the spice.
Is that why the sandworms are such an issue?
The sandworms, they don't know this, but you find out in later books is that the sandworms create the spice.
Oh, so it's worm shit.
Yeah, it's worm shit.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're just going to use
spoilers for a book that came out in the 60s.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Like if honestly, like if you're mad about this, I don't know what to tell you. Because like I feel like this is the sort of thing that either you are into it and you went and saw it already, or you had the desire to see it, and that's not a surprise to you.
Yeah.
Or you're curious, and frankly, that won't hurt a goddamn thing because you'd be like, where the fuck did all the spice come from? Well, okay.
You need the worms for the spice. You can't have spice without the worms, but no one knows that yet.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So this is not a tie-in to the Tremors franchise, correct? I had to ask.
I feel
because they're kind of graboid looking, and I love Tremors, me some Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I feel like Tremors was influenced by the sandworms, but it's not a hard jump to like invent a giant worm that crawls in the sand to eat people.
Right. Okay. Do they have the little tendrils that come out of the mouth, or no?
No, it's like
okay. All right. Like so that is strictly a Tremors thing. Yeah. Okay, like a Sarlacc pit.
Yes, a Sarlacc pit that moves.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, all right. So we've got danger worms that aren't graboids. Is their vision based on movement, sound, or heat, or do we not cover that? Is it mostly sound and vibration?
They follow rhythmic moving. So if you're walking, they find you. If you have a harvester with an engine, they'll find you. They'll eat you.
Okay, so it's mostly vibration and sound. Then.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. They're fucking worms. Like I'm not confused about that. Okay, so we've got some echolocating ass worms traveling around a giant sand planet, right? Whole thing a desert, or is there like some rocky areas and all sorts of desert? Okay, so the whole thing is desert. No Tatooine shit. We're not breaking this up.
Yeah, you find out in this one that there were plans to terraform the planet to turn it into a paradise. And then they discovered the spice and they're like, nah, let's mine this shit.
Honestly, that feels better in a weird way. Because that feels very Oxen Hill of us to be like, hey, so there's a swamp here. Hey, Disney, do you have any interest in building a fakey city on top of it? Like, do we? Absolutely. But see, then they'll end up terraforming it and then they'll give up like halfway through because the transportation isn't all that good and they can't get permits on the new planet for a casino. And then it ends up falling through. And then the fine people at DreamWorks end up doing it. And then the whole planet is Shrek themed, which is like, seems funny in the beginning. Right. Yeah. Until you realize that guy from Smash Mouth definitely made some Nazi salutes and some not fun stuff lately. So that guy is officially retired from music.
Oh boy.
So right. So like this planet wasn't bad enough with the giant fucking worms that emit the drugs out of their shit. But now I got to get rid of the fucking planet's theme song. So I guess we're going to go with their earlier shit. So you might as well be walking on the sun because this fucking planet is hotter than balls because it's nothing but sand. Not a goddamn drop of water to be found, which by the way, how the fuck do you terraform something like that?
Well,
looking at you, Mars.
They apparently there's water deep in the planet.
Gotcha. Like, of course. Deep. Gotcha. Right on. So we showed up to a desert planet, arrogant as fuck, with a giant shovel and a drill. And we're like,
gonna terraform.
One of two things is gonna happen. I'm gonna get to the other side, or we're gonna find water. And like, I just assume with the battle cry of Wu-Tang is for the children, we just blasted cream and started drilling.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the spice thing happened. They're like, oh, maybe we could fly a spaceship with this shit.
There's a jump.
I know. I don't
that is like steps. I'm reminded of an old Lewis Black bit where he talks about who settled Minnesota. Where he talks about like the Scandinavians, where like they're, like one of them looks at the other and goes, Sven, this is shit. Fucking cold every night. I feel like I'm going to die. We must find a new land. So they hop on their fucking boat and they fucking row themselves across the ocean and they land in a temperate climate. Like, I don't know, Balmer. And then decide, fuck this place. There has to be somewhere better. And they start walking. And as they start walking, they start drinking. And as they start drinking, they start drifting to the fucking right. And they manage to make their way up to Minnesota. And they look around and it's fucking cold and it's awful. And there's bears. And they went, Sven, we're home. Like, I'm also reminded of the bit where he talks about this and he's like, imagine being in the wilderness in an entirely new continent and seeing something run through the woods and go, what the fuck is that? Let's eat it.
Yeah.
That sort of confidence.
Yeah.
That sort of blind confidence.
Yeah.
Is the sort of thing that has you, I assume, smoke it to take the drug.
So far, we haven't seen how they take it. We've just seen people like pinch it and it gets like up in your nose because it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
So it's like cocaine then at that point.
It seems like it. Yeah.
Okay. So you are sniffing it. You're shoving that shit up there, right? There's only a matter of time before somebody gets way too into it and we end up with the first dude who made hemp. Because the first person who burns it and gets high goes, fuck, this is rad.
Yeah.
And then everyone else looks at the rest of it and then goes, well, it seems so wasteful to burn all of it. Just this part will get me high. What can I do with the rest of it? So like, it's very easy to see them being like, dude, what if like the engines got high? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the dog definitely got high, but what if like the engines that get us like high in the sky could like feel like this right now and like take us all cosmos and shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like some Neil deGrasse Tyson shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some Carl Sagan shit. Like really fucking explore the cosmos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love it.
I hate it because it's obnoxious drug shit.
That's exactly how that happened though. Like
100%.
That's exactly how that happened. Like I don't know if the later books cover that, but like that's exactly how that shit happened.
Like I'm super good. If you want to smoke weed, I get tired of the people who are like, cannabis can fix everything, man. And I'm like,
It's like people who talk about blockchain.
We don't do that. You don't need that in your life. You really don't.
Yeah.
You know anyone who talks about blockchain, quietly escort them onto your porch and close the door behind them. You don't need that. Especially if it's an elderly person, you definitely don't need that. They're up to no good. Up to no good.
No good. No good.
No good. Some septuagenarian talking about blockchain, you push them out. They're a Russian agent.
NFT.
Sorry, Grandma. Dos vidanya. Don't let the door hit you in your red ass.
NFT.
Like, get 'em
no
out.
fucking thanks.
No, get them out. Get them out. Anyway, okay, so no graboids, lot of drugs, some sort of loose political shit, somebody absolutely abusing a planet with, I assume, a finite amount of resources that we haven't gotten to figure out that it's a finite amount of resources because the sandworms are killing more people than they're able to hunt the sandworms down.
Well, so the planet is just killing people because if you're outside without a still suit and it's a special suit that recycles all of your water, if you're outside without a suit, you just die. So
okay, cool. Gotcha.
Equipment gets shredded because it's so fucking hot.
Okay.
And spice is the only thing that allows interstellar travel. So you need to keep mining it. So it's so fucking difficult to mine that they're not worried about running out of spice. They're worried about harvesting enough to keep the bullshit going.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So we haven't gotten to the issue of what happens when we run out.
Yeah.
Okay. I assume that's for like book 13 after the guy's dad is good and dead.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So That's when we get into synthetic spice and we learn about other planets like Coruscant. Okay.
The pilots talk about angels from Coruscant and stuff. I like you. Let's get married.
Misa make it a bad spice. Bunga bad. Like, thanks, Jar Jar.
Oh, you're 12 now, but I'm gonna fuck you later.
God damn right I am. Fucking wear that out. Anyway,
you go off and kill a bunch of kids. I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah, you know what? That is
twins.
That is not a no. Time to replenish the younglings. All right.
Oh my God.
There is a shortage.
Pad me.
That's what I'm saying. Supply and demand. Create your own. I get it.
God damn it. Sand
Just
gets everywhere.
chopping down the middies and midi-chlorians. I'm here for it.
The spice, it gets everywhere. It's coarse and terrible.
All right. So we've got drug-fueled planet.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to give away the whole plot. So let me tiptoe my way around this. Is the premise of the bad guys to control the spice or to stop anyone from harvesting it at all?
So this is the interesting thing. This is where the political shit gets going. The Harkonnens owned Dune for 80 years. They owned it. They mined it. They were
gotcha, like a Louisiana Purchase kind of thing.
They were getting stupid rich off the spice. And then the Galactic Emperor said, we're gonna give Dune to this other family. Harkonnens, get the fuck off. And
why?
That's people are asking, why did you do that, Emperor?
Right. So I assume the Emperor's getting a kickback from the new family, right?
Well, the Atreides, the Paul Atreides, his family, they are the new stewards of Arrakis, of Dune, and they're like, all right, well, we have to spin up our harvesting. All the equipment that the Harkonnens left us, it's broken. We've been set up to fail. And it turns out that the Emperor did set them up to fail. This part doesn't make any sense. The Harkonnens like
wait, hang on. So the Harkonnens who were there already had an operating system going on, but according to the new family, weren't churning out enough spice to support everyone. So I assume there is high demand, therefore high prices, limited capabilities, what have you. So there's a desire to ramp up production, right?
We don't know that. We don't know why the Emperor never states why he made the change.
Right. But the new family made it very clear that they need to produce more spice than what had already been producing.
Well, the new family needs to catch up. Because the new family, they go there, they don't have the equipment.
Because why the fuck would the family who got kicked out leave them working shit?
Yeah, exactly. So
I get it. I'd slash the tires on my own car too before you fucking take my shit. Piss off.
Yeah, they're the new administration. They don't have any of the gear. They don't have any of the equipment. They're kind of confused why they got the gig.
Okay, so someone's wronged the Emperor, I assume.
I think that's kind of implied.
So
or the Emperor is jealous of somebody or somebody.
So the new family gets the planet. I'm unclear how the Emperor gets to make that call. Because I don't get the idea of what causes this version of eminent domain, but okay.
That's not covered in the movie.
Right. Because if the Emperor decided that the kingdom or someone from his kingdom, representative of his kingdom, was going to take over because the kingdom was taking control because he didn't want it privately owned anymore, that at least would make sense. But what it sounds like is we traded one family for another with no real explanation as to why. No, the implication is that the Emperor wants to pit the two families against each other to get rid of the new family. Have we not considered just getting two people high on spice and letting them fuck awkwardly? Usually, or I don't know, we kicked off World War I by killing like a nephew or something like that. Like, can't we just do that instead? Yeah. Just put a bullet in Timothy Chalamet, right from Jump Street and see if we can start this fight. Yeah. I mean, there is an assassination attempt and Timothy Chalamet
is too good.
Okay, all right.
Good.
Well, I'm glad that we figured out who the Archduke Ferdinand is. That's fine. All right.
He's too good. He survives.
Get yourself some, Franz Ferdinand. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. Do they play Take Me Out while he's right? Is that playing while they're trying to kill him? Because if it's not, that is a YouTube video waiting to happen, like akin to the old drowning pool videos on the DBZ fights. Right. Yeah. Like someone needs to put those two together.
You would be disappointed because so there is no action in this movie until halfway through, and then that's it. He stands there very still because it's a hunter-killer bot, and if he makes a move, it'll jab him in the eye and kill him.
Gotcha. Okay, so he fought something that has the capability to track like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. We've got a political drama that doesn't seem to have any sort of motivation as to why it got started. We've got a big empty sand planet that no one can live on. The near as I can tell is very pretty, but also very repetitive.
It's full of dunes.
We've got we've got sandworms that we don't really understand what's going on. They're not rad graboid ones, so this isn't like a low-key horror film way of like, wait, so the worms aren't like hunting people down casually, and that's like an underlying threat, is it?
No.
Just a random occurrence.
If you are walking in the sand and you're not doing this weird like shuffle to make it sound like you're
serpentine pattern. I get it. I know how to run from alligators.
If you're not doing the serpentine thing, they will just eat you.
Okay.
And one of the Fremen uses that to kind of she's about to die, but she takes the assassins with her. She's like, "Oh, come here, worm!" And the worm comes and eats all of them.
Okay. All right. Well, that's neat.
Oh, and they're witches. I forgot to tell you about the witches.
Sure, why not?
They're witches.
Because we need to have, because this wasn't confusing enough. We need to add a bit of the occult in here.
Yeah.
Okay, makes total sense.
Yeah. Paul's mom is a witch, and the Bene Gesserit have been manipulating the entire system for thousands of years.
What? Hang on, wait. What about a Jabberwocky? What is going on?
The witches are called the Bene Gesserit.
Okay, gotcha. Benny and the Jets. So
the Benny and the Jets have been manipulating the entire kingdom.
I got it. Okay,
in order
with
with everything,
with their electric boots and mohair suits.
With their electric boots and mohair suits, they have something called the Voice, where they can compel you to do something. They
go maga 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 e-o-o.
Yeah, they say like
you just hear it off in the distance. And then just the last thing you hear before the witches are up on you is Benny and the Jets. You're like, oh no.
But it turns out they have been trying to create a mind that can combine the past and the future and travel through space and time. And Paul is apparently the result of that experimentation. They've been crossing bloodlines.
Paul
Atreides. Paul is our lead character.
Oh,
Timothy
Shamalayan. Gotcha.
Shamalayan.
Gotcha.
Champignon.
Shamwow. Okay.
They've been doing this weird genetic experiment on these.
Sure. People. All right. So boy, this is a lot to fucking recap. This is just okay.
This is just part one.
I understand why this fucking thing's 2.5 hours because it feels real Hobbit ass. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm unclear how to respond to this.
Yeah.
Because if you gave me this description, and even now knowing that it's more political than it is kind of like space-ish action, and I know this is really one-sided of me to make the judgment on.
No, but you're right. It's not.
I am less inclined to go and watch it. I feel like just one fight means you're wasting some fucking Jason Momoa.
He has one fight. He has two fights.
Okay, so there are multiple fights then.
Yeah, like big fights. There's one huge gigantic fight, but like Momoa has two. Timothy Chalamet has one-ish.
Okay.
But Momoa has a good time.
All right.
Momoa
So
has a
we're
good
not
time.
necessarily wasting the Momoa. Is it a Momoa versus a Batista?
It is a Momoa versus a whole like a bunch of people. Unfortunately, we do not get Momoa versus Batista.
Okay, that's fine. I haven't bothered to watch C either, so I could actually go and watch Momoa versus Batista near as I can understand. So I'm good. I was just more of a curiosity of like, are the two kaijus going to fight?
Yeah, we don't get that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is one of those weird movies that like I think I wouldn't mind sitting down and enjoying on like a Saturday, just kind of by myself, rainy day or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I am relatively convinced I will fall asleep halfway through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a problem for me because
you
I
space
want
it out.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a good halfway point. You could stop it and you can do other stuff. Yeah.
Is okay. So
like about halfway is about like,
is this political drama akin to like a House of Cards or a West Wing, or is this a political drama more akin to like a C-SPAN live feed? The fact that you haven't responded yet tells me everything I need to know. So we got C-SPAN with eventually like C-SPAN, but like 1840 C-SPAN, where that one congressman threatened the other one. It was like, you say thy name again, I will come at thee, and then beat the shit out of him with a fucking cane.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to really build up there. Any unnecessary accents?
No. Someone said that this is basically a trailer for the second movie, and I was like, uncalled for, but you're not wrong. Because the second movie is where we learn about the Fremen, and that we're going to see more of Javier Bardem and his crew, and his crew is awesome as shit.
Well, then
we get more Zendaya in the second one.
I hate to say it this way, but you just gave away the entire fucking game. So what I'll do is I'll watch the recap on YouTube, then I'll go watch the second one.
Yeah. And they did get picked up for a second one.
I know that's what I just saw. So like I think that's where it's going to be. If it happens to be, well, I guess not that it wouldn't happen to be on. I do all of my viewing through streaming services and I have HBO Plus. So I could be watching it right now. I just choose not to because I don't want to blow 2.5 hours of my life. Like I can do that on funner shit. I think I'm going to watch the 10-minute recap on YouTube when the new one comes out. Yeah. And I'll watch the new one and I'll give that a spin. And hopefully it'll be a little faster paced and enjoyable and what have you. And I won't really miss much. So Dune, I guess for me, will get 2.5 sand trouts. Is that how that works?
2.5 sand trouts.
2.5 sand trouts. A lot of possibility. From what it sounds like, relatively meh execution, really pretty, but kind of boring. And it seems like a bit of a compliment sandwich where I get like, hey, you really show up on time and you're super reliable, but you fuck off a lot and we're probably going to fire you if you mess up again. So just do me a favor and keep showing everybody else how your job works. You're really good at that. Like that kind of, I don't think that's enough for me to bother with it. It feels
unfinished. It feels unfinished.
Well, obviously, because it's two halves. And let me ask a genuine question. Do you think that they could have carved this into 40 minutes?
I don't think so. I think they could have turned. I think they could have turned this into like a miniseries, an hour and a half, like a six episode miniseries.
The entire first movie. So you want to turn.
No, both of them.
Everything.
Both,
okay.
Yeah. Like,
all right. So,
it's going to be 5 hours when it's done because this is 2.5 hours. Second movie is probably going to be another 2.5 hours. So that's 5 hours of content.
So you don't think that they could have cut anything out of this movie?
I think you could have made cuts. I think it would make less sense. Like
it would make less sense by making cuts.
Yeah. I think you could have cut this down to a shorter film, but I think it would make less sense. But that doesn't matter if this is the only movie you get. Because there's a lot of world building in between and there's like a lot of this and that. And this other shit refers to something else. And then it's like,
all right. I mean, fair enough. If you're saying that they couldn't have cut really much out, then they couldn't have cut much out. I'll take your word for it. That's perfectly fine.
I feel like it would have done well. Like if we got this as a 6 episode deal, I think people would be more.
I'm just wondering if you let someone like, I don't know, the voice of Idris Elba. Just give me a 3-minute backstory scrolling sort of thing. We could have established a lot of plot points and maybe cut conservatively 46 minutes off of this film.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And maybe made it a bit more palatable for everybody. And then made the second one kind of long because it's the big crescendo to everything. But the first one needs to be a bit of like wet the palate sort of thing, kind of entice you and get you going in there.
Yeah.
Maybe end the thing on a bit of a cliffhanger, because did they end it on a cliffhanger or not really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's not a bad cliffhanger, but it's
that's all right. No, good. That's if you're left wanting more and there's going to be more, good. Then you've done your job. That's awesome.
It's you mentioned the Lord of the Rings franchise earlier, and it's kind of like that. Like the first movie ends, and you're like, we haven't gone anywhere. We've gotten out the door. We haven't gone anywhere.
Right. But I'm also have been yelled at and gotten into heated conversations that I genuinely think you could have cut that down to one film.
Oh, who yelled at you about that?
No.
Okay.
Quite a few people.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, you could like a good 2.5-3 hour movie. But
at the very least, you could have cut it down into 2.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot to say about that.
Like, because that first one especially was like, okay, all right.
I think this works for me because I like all the bullshit, like the world building bullshit. So like
I get that, but at the same time,
stuff, but
you just made it very clear that like a lot of it doesn't fucking make sense, which means are they actually really doing a good job of world building, or are you invested in this anyway? So you're like, yeah, cool.
Audrey watched it and she thought it was interesting because she doesn't know shit about Dune.
That's fine. Good.
And she was interested enough to be like, yeah, I kind of want to see how this turns out.
All right.
I thought that was good.
Fair enough.
But it am slow. This is not an Endgame. This is not like Infinity War.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I understand.
It's not as slow as 2001, but
you know what? Scratch it. I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to watch the Padme speech. Then I'm going to watch Tremors. Then I'm going to go to the theater and I'm going to see the second Dune movie and see if I feel like I'm lost.
Yes. Now, Brandon.
This is how democracy dies, Jamie. Not with a whimper, but with thunderous applause. And cue Kevin Bacon with the fucking sandworm, the graboid jumping out and like breaking through the thing, and him just doing the, yeah, you son of a bitch, how about that? Woo! And then we just smash cut to like Oscar Isaacs staring longingly across a desolate sand planet and being like, yeah, no, this feels like Arizona. I am with you guys.
Now, Brandon.
Yeah.
I really want them to make enough movies till we get to the really weird shit. In the 4th book, one of Paul's offspring or grandson or something else, he turns into a sandworm person. So he gets the sand trout and he lets the sand trout infest his body. So he turns into a worm with a man head. And I need to see this on film. And that's why I need them to make more of these. Because I need the weird shit.
Hang on. Whoa. Time out. Like I wanted to end this, but now you fucking drum me in. So here we go.
See?
They managed to. No, not. You're not going to be happy. All right. So wait. So they managed to, in the first fucking film that clearly there needs to be way too many of, to figure out that you can do interstellar space travel with your goddamn heroin. But it takes them 4 fucking books to have one of the tiny worms figure out that you can wear them like a goddamn ghillie suit and go ahead and make with this, I assume, what I can assume to be just a weird latex ass like knockoff porno version of like a Nightcrawler. Like, so wait, so it's got like, so it looks like a prolapse. Like, does it look like Okay,
Yeah.
so basically, we're saying that like this guy looks like he's in the middle of
An anus.
of being birthed.
Yes.
So
he's part worm, part man, and his face comes out of the mouth. It's like, hello.
Right, but does that mean that there are like teeth everywhere and everything?
Yeah, it's like. I'll show you the book cover. I'll show you the book cover.
Of course. Of course.
It's so good.
And I'll show you with a quick Google search what it's going to look like when that worm becomes a penis. Because I bet I can find mine just as fast as you can find yours.
I want the weird shit of Dune. Like, I don't want this pretty shit. I want the weird Dune. And we haven't ever gotten enough.
They're not.
To get to that point.
No. If Marvel of all people aren't going to tackle the idea that Loki was pregnant for some time and gave birth to a 6-legged horse that Odin actually rides into battle in the first fucking Thor movie. Yes. So Loki being pregnant and also giving birth to a thunder horse being fucking canon in that universe where Jeff Goldblum definitely fucks like everyone for fun a lot.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, your weird Christopher Nolan looking ass fucking universe where everyone's got to wear like old discarded tires and like breathe through like weird regulators and do a lot of space heroin to be able to fly anywhere is not going to cover what I can describe as only a problematic Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No sand trouts. No sand trouts for the fourth book.
Maybe that can make it by the third movie, Jamie. Maybe that's how they'll end the third movie.
He turns into a worm man.
Right. Yeah. Like he sloughs out. And like he sloughs out of the thing. You're like, how are we going to survive now? And all of a sudden you just hear, we find a way. Finn credits.
Welcome to Dune cast, everyone.
Never make another Dune movie afterward. That's the last thing we see is the Anakin Skywalker of the Dune universe in some sort of weird fucking CG looking thing, just sloughing his weird slurm looking ass up there. Yeah.
I want it.
I'm here for this version of Slurms Mackenzie. I'm here for it.
I love it.
I just want to see these go long enough that you get what you want. Fuck it. At this point now,
it needs to be weird. We need weird shit.
Sure. By the way, I'm gonna update this to 2 stars. Two sand trouts. 2 sand trouts. Yeah, because
yeah. Yeah.
Much like the Superman thing, if this is your jam and you genuinely enjoy it and you have friends that you think will enjoy it, by all means, go see it. From what I've seen now, I'm concerned that I'm going to fall asleep and I'm going to end up having a shitty opinion of it. And I don't like to do that of things that people genuinely really enjoy because it means that I end up having a shitty opinion of it and then I can't have real conversation. I can just be like, well, I didn't see it. It didn't seem all that interesting to me, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work for some people we know, but fuck them. Like
the thing is, I like it, but there are glaring flaws. Like the colonialism aspect, the white savior, white messiah complex. Like there are huge things that I have a problem with. Like, like this being the Nerds of Color podcast network, we could spend another hour just destroying it because like there are some very problematic things that some of it is textual, but some of it is just every time we make a movie or a film adaptation, we make the Atreides white. That's not necessarily in the text because it takes place in like 10,191 or something like that. And it is absurd to imagine the future where, we still have this kind of bullshit. So I don't know. I like it, but there are some big problems with this whole Dune thing. So like, if people shit on this movie, I get it.
But we don't see any of the other planets, right?
We do.
We?
But we don't see we don't see a lot of them. We see people from those planets, so we don't get to see like all of their society. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of problematic shit in Dune, and it's always been kind of on the edge. And weirdly, because this cast is so diverse, it kind of drives home some of that shit. Like,
so what you're saying is that we should have. Sting was in the last one, wasn't he?
Sting was in the last one, yeah.
So we should have. So what you're saying is that we should have hired Gordon again.
Yeah.
Gordon could have solved this.
We have prominent black people who have many speaking lines who get murked to further the story of the white kid, and it's just like that didn't have to be that way, but you made choices. Like that's not, so I don't know. You won't get shit from me if you hate this. Like I will not.
It's not that I'm hating it. It's that I won't bother spending time watching it. Yeah. This is how I tackle a lot of things that are beloved and everything else like that.
Yeah.
Like there are people who are still going to be mad at me that I've never seen Blade Runner.
Oh, that one is long. Ugh.
Right.
And then
I know a lot of people love it.
Well, then you have to decide which version of Blade Runner, because there's the director's cut, there's the studio cut, there's this cut.
No, I don't. No, I don't. You know why? Because I've never seen Blade Runner. I don't have to. I don't have to.
But it's got Han Solo in it, Brandon.
Yeah, so do the fucking Star Wars movies. Actual Han Solo.
The funny thing is, Denis Villeneuve, who directed Blade Runner 2040 something, directed... 2049 directed Dune. So it's
shocking.
So what you're getting at is slow sci-fi is not your jammy jam.
No, that's not really true because I'm a fucking prequels apologist.
That's true.
Like I own it. Like I from what you're telling me, okay, the Blade Runner thing, that's just because everyone got so fucking obnoxious about Blade Runner that I was convinced that if I watched it and I didn't like it, I was going to be some sort of social pariah and there was no way it could live up to what everyone else had built it up to be. Yeah. So I just was like, you know what? I'm good. Same thing with Dune. I was like, yeah, okay. No one seems to be super dope about it other than like my older friends, people who are a couple years older than me, they were like, dude's fucking amazing. And I was like, yeah, but you had a lack of options. So like, I wasn't sure if that was really the issue there. So
a lack of options. I love it.
Dude, we all used to gather in the streets when trains used to come into town because we had a lack of entertainment. Like I get the idea that when Dune came out, there was nothing else like it.
Yeah.
I get that now. I got options. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like but yeah,
you're not gonna get shit from me if you've never seen Dune. Like
yeah.
And if you don't like Dune, you are also not going to get any shit from me.
I think I'm convinced I'm going to do it the same way I did it to the last Potter film. I'm not going to see the one before it. I'm not going to bother with it. I'll pick up as minimal context as I need. I'll watch fucking Tremors and then we'll do this thing. Fuck, if I can time it out right, I'll be sitting in the goddamn theater watching Tremors on my phone with my fucking headphone in. And then the lights will come down. The credits will end after Kevin Bacon gets fucking excited after killing the last Graboid. I'll close the phone and then we'll jump right into it. And I'll be like, this is the greatest Tremors sequel ever. And that's impressive because if I'm not mistaken, I think there's 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
And the last one starred John Heder and it was on a goddamn island and it was a thing. And I watched it when I had COVID. Boy, howdy, was it an experience. I was drunk. Holy shit, was I drunk. And even then I was like, you know what? This is a bad fucking movie. I'm curious if it's going to be the best Tremor sequel.
I hope that by 2023, which is when the next one is scheduled,
Jesus Christ,
that we will be able to see it in the theater, or if Max is still doing the at-home thing and we're still at home. But I definitely think the second part will be more interesting.
2023, fucking Christ! Like, what is this? A goddamn Avatar film?
They didn't know if they were going to make enough or if there was going to be enough interest for the second one.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
Like, especially with the
film's been out, what, like a week?
Well, it's been out for a while longer, like a month, I think. Cause like it premiered overseas, weirdly enough, before it came here.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. They were kind of, the panorama happened and they're like, we'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
All right. All right, James Cameron. I see you. Oh, whatever. All that means is that I'm watching Tremors in 2023. So I'm going to put it on the calendar now.
Yep. It'll be here before you know it. I can't believe 2021 is 2022. I don't know shit about anything.
Calendars, Jamie. How the fuck do they work?
Yeah. Calendars. All right.
Like a Greek juggalo. Sophocles. How the fuck do calendars work?
Brandon.
Sir,
where can people find all 2 of your sand trouts?
All 2 of my sand trouts can be found on Instagram at that guy Chalmers. Jamie Noguchi, where can they find your? I'm gonna be generous and say 3.5 sand trouts.
I would actually give this a 4 sand trout.
All right.
Even though I have many problems with it.
Strong but forgiving words from one Jamie fucking Noguchi. But where can they find you, Jamie?
Instagram, Jamie Noguchi, Twitter, Angry Zen Master, wherever podcasts are sold, you can find this podcast. Yeah. See ya.
Bye.